we all have sensory processing issues of some variety. Like you have preferences for things for certain reasons, and then you don't like other things for certain reasons. It's just a matter of like how functional you can make it as an adult. Right? Go! Can we get more?
Good job.
That's the goal, ideally, is that we can figure out and kind of help him figure out what keeps his body in that just right place, because that's where learning happens. Because until you're there, you're not going to be able to learn too much, because you're just trying to manage your own body.
Hey guys, so welcome to Louder Than Words. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than any other video I've ever posted. It is going to be actual footage of Eli's occupational therapy session at the therapy clinic. So an actual session at the clinic, no more teletherapy. And this one is amazing because not only will you get to see Eli actually doing occupational therapy, what he does, how he does it, what it's like. So in the past 2 weeks, Eli has exploded with improvement and development, and like, oh my goodness, it is insane. He has exploded with all of this new development, and I am excited, right? I'm ecstatic. I'm like, yes, do my happy dance. Yes, go yay, yay, go yay, yay. But here's the deal, right? I'm still confused. You can be happy and be confused. It's a thing. It's a real thing, and I feel it. It is me. Here I am. So despite my excitement, like, I still had some questions. That's just a thing. I did. And this video is going to show those questions being answered, right? Like, amazingly. I was shocked at how much information is in this video. Just get ready for Eli's occupational therapist to drop some knowledge. You're about to learn whether you are an autism parent, whether you are autistic, or whether you are just a rando who found my channel and you're like, hey, I'd like to learn a little bit about some autism. Here you go. Here you go. Or even if you're just a parent wanting to know about sensory. All parents have babies that they get sensory toys for. If you get toys with contrasting colors, sensory toy. Toys that make noise like a rattle, sensory toy. You get sensory toys for your kids. You just might not call it that. So the point is this is going to tell you why that is so important. Why the sensory system is essential to everything, okay? Number one, I hope you get a lot out of watching my son during occupational therapy and how well he's doing and just what he does. I hope you get a lot out of hearing the answers that I get and finding out all this information about the sensory systems and how the sensory systems affect learning and why she thinks Eli has all of a sudden exploded with all of this new development and how that relates to the sensory system too. So yeah, we're going to get started. I'm going to quit rambling. Let's go. All right. Good job. You tricked us. Ready? Ready? Go! Yay! Can we get more? Good job. Good job. So even something like that, just setting up some kind of little play routine, I would call it. Like where we go bounce and go to the hoop. I'm curious to see if he'll come back. Like if he wants more, will he come back to me if I stay here? In a way of kind of like requesting more. Okay. Even something simple like that, because I feel like that just kind of builds that relationship, and then he starts to learn how to play with other people. Yeah. To some of the same things, like even that we did earlier, but that we did last week. Yeah. Don't eat. Okay. He's just rubbing on his lips. He does that. Yeah. That is the other way to explore toys. It is. Are you coming to me? Am I running away from you? I can't tell. Okay. Funny. Like it's fascinating to see his eyes constantly kind of taking it in. So it's not that he's unaware of his environment. It's just like what's going to pique his interest the most. That's going to be exciting enough for him. Okay. Your hair is rough, boy. Yeah, you want to swing? I forgot how to do swing and sign. I always learned it this way. Okay. Is it something? I don't know. Look at us learn.
Oh, and I should get with her too and see what kind of signs you guys are working on so I can reinforce them here too.
I've been trying to do, well, we're really kind of we're starting to focus on pictures lately, but he is having trouble, so I guess we decided yesterday to just focus on one at a time. I don't know. I think I guess we're doing one picture at a time, but I try to do as many signs as I can when I talk to see if it'll help him receive the information better.
Perfect.
But he's never signed before himself.
Okay.
We've been working on it since he was 14 months old, and he's never...
Okay. But see, I like that too, because, I mean, when you think back to that multi-sensory approach, it's perfect, because you're saying it. Hopefully he can see you mouthing it and like lip reading.
Yeah.
But then signing it too. So there's just all these different components to it that I think are really helpful just in kind of getting that point across. Hey!
Baby! I'm telling y'all, he is so strong.
So funny.
You silly boy.
But I'm wondering, like just seeing this, I'm wondering if he likes this better, if it feels safer, instead of him trying to sit up in the middle, which takes a lot of core strength and is very unstable. By him being on his belly, obviously his feet can still touch a little bit.
Yeah.
He's getting the pressure from his belly, which he likes, and so it's calming. And so he can kind of figure it out and explore it that way first, and then hopefully move on to something like this. And we're gonna go really slow. Where is Mama? Where is Mama?
We're gonna have to get this swing now.
Honestly. More swing.
More? That's a big one we work on too, more.
More swing. Good job.
That's probably the biggest one.
Okay, yeah, it's so helpful.
I
know, he's just chilling.
Hi, baby. Or should I not? Sorry, I'm trying to touch as little as I can because like the whole sanitizing thing.
That's so sweet.
Hi, baby.
Yeah. We were kind of joking, so we all have sensory processing issues of some variety. Like you have preferences for things for certain reasons, and then you don't like other things for certain reasons. It's just a matter of like how functional you can make it as an adult. So like I'm actually a pretty picky eater myself. Certain textures, like no-go.
Textures are not it for me.
Yeah, I would rather have like complete silence than music playing. I'm the one that like walks into the room and I instantly turn the volume down on the TV like 3 notches. Like, it's just a little too much. But it's a matter of like, obviously I can function, it's fine, it doesn't impede my daily life. Yeah. So there is a just right kind of place. So you use the exact right terminology that he was under responsive. So for him, like when I stuck the ball in his overalls and he didn't notice it, that's not quite typical. You know, like a lot of us would be like, what is that? You know, what is she doing? She's messing with me, something doesn't go right. For him, he's just not registering it.
Yeah.
So for him, he is what we would call like low registration or an under responder. So he's gonna need a much higher level of input to get some kind of reaction, which I think is why, that is why he is craving deep pressure and just kind of like a higher intensity of play, interactions with you, things like that. But now it's interesting to see the progress he's making, because I feel like as his body gets that input that he wants, he then starts to organize it a little better. So now he's figuring out where his body is in space. He's not quite as clumsy, or he's recognizing other people in the space, so he's making better eye contact. He's coming to us when he needs something. I know. He's gonna show her a toy. You know, just different things like that.
It's so crazy how much like sensory stuff can affect like all those things.
It affects everything. And that's the thing, is like it's not well known. And so we see these kiddos and we're like, oh gosh, maybe it's behavior, maybe it's this and that. But if your body is not processing your environment appropriately, or like everyone else does, then you're gonna have these issues, and then it seems like something else. And so that's the goal, ideally, is that we can figure out and kind of help him figure out what keeps his body in that just right place, because that's where learning happens. Because until you're there, you're not gonna be able to learn too much, because you're just trying to manage your own body. So I have a feeling that's why we're seeing more progress with him being able to sit and attend and kind of play, because it just seems like his body is just more right in a good spot, you know. I'm trying to pick games that make noise, that have some kind of visual component, something that gets his attention more, because just honestly, I'm surprised he went for the little popper things, just because they're not that exciting.
Yeah.
But where he needs more intensity of input, I'm trying to kind of bring in the other senses, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So anything that's kind of multi-sensory, if it has a smell, a taste, visually is just more interesting, makes a cool sound, music, anything like that, I think he's going to be more engaged than coloring or something like that, you know?
So, do you think that's why he never answered? Like, I know he's doing better now, but like, he never...
Yes, sound, which I feel like is why he doesn't necessarily respond to his name, because he just needs input way up here to get his attention. But, oh my goodness! But he's extremely uber responsive to oral because he hates all, you know, the different textures and foods and things like that.
It used to be so hard to do things because anytime I would try to interact with him, he would literally just up and leave and toss it. And so I'm just wondering where like all this came from all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, and he seems more regulated is what we call it. So like in our evaluation, I feel like he was whining more and kind of pacing, and he'd go knock things over, and then he'd go fix them. He was just like a little more antsy and kind of agitated. So not grumpy necessarily, just agitated in that sense. But now he just seems like a lot calmer, kind of peaceful. He's chatting more. So I'm wondering if his body is just more ready for play, and he's just more regulated in that sense. Or like a lot of times, you know, if you think about holding a baby and you kind of like rock this way or something like that, like you're not going to spin in circles to calm it.
Yeah, true that.
Or like up and down, something like that. Because yeah, it's just the way that our brains are wired. Anything that's kind of going in a big circle or rolling or something like that, it's going to be a little bit more like hyperactive.
Okay. By the way, guys, please know that you do not have to have an autistic child for them to get occupational therapy. Occupational therapy helps with the whole child. Anything from trouble with handwriting, trouble with grasping a pencil, trouble with social skills, trouble with like everything, okay? Fine motor skills, sensory processing disorder, ADHD, like literally everything. Occupational therapy is called occupational therapy because it gets your child ready, the whole child, ready for the real world to function and have, wait for it guys, an occupation. That's where the name comes in. I know it's confusing, right? I remember when they recommended occupational therapy for Yai, I'm like, but he's 2. He doesn't need to work. What are y'all trying to do with my baby? You know? But just trust them, okay? It's a good thing. Occupational therapy is definitely, I think, one of the most beneficial therapies I have ever seen. It's amazing. And at first, this is the funniest part. I told Eli's occupational therapist that at first I did not take it seriously because I walked in and I was like, we do this at home. Like, y'all aren't even doing anything interesting, like, or new. We do this at home. But there's so much more to it. Like, the goal, she said, good, that is the goal. The goal is for it to look exactly like we aren't doing anything, because that's how you sneak it in there, right? No kid is gonna want to be like, all right, let's get to work and better myself today. No, nobody. They're gonna be like, yo, I want to play. I want to jump on the trampoline and in a ball pit. That's what they're doing. So there's just so much details in there. I love going into the occupational therapy sessions because I just learned so much, not only on how they do it, but how I can do it. And in general, I just learned so much about the freaking human body and mind and soul. Like, y'all, I am intense. I am an intense human. I'm too much. I'm sorry, okay? I feel strongly about it. I really do, though. Like, I'm wondering if the rest of the world is watching this, like, calm down. Like, yeah. It's not that serious. It's that serious to me, okay? We're talking about, we are talking about such a complex system of being and like so much, right? The human body's crazy. And our kids with autism or sensory processing disorder, ADHD, any of it, you know, they have variations in the way that their mind functions compared to the majority, the typical. You know what I mean? And so learning these things is so interesting to me on how I can best parent my child. So I am intense about it. I might be too much, but that's okay. Because, like, I'm gonna be a good mommy. That's all right. And you don't have to be intense to be a good mommy, obviously. That's just like, that's my way. So, it's who I am. It's how I be.